welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a very exciting new Sims 4 speed build, because we are building a functional boarding school in The Sims 4 using the new getaway system and custom venue system that comes with The Sims 4 Adventure Awaits. And I'm very excited to show you this because I'm so proud of how it turned out. I really love the whole build and like I'm absolutely obsessed with the end result, so beyond excited to share that with you guys and hear your guys' thoughts as well. The main inspiration behind the boarding school was this kind of British dark academia vibe, and it being, you know, autumn, back to school, I really wanted to create this kind of Oxford / Hogwarts style boarding school. And like I said, it's actually functional because we have this new getaway and custom venue system where you can set kind of schedules and roles that you want to come to your venue and what happens at your venue. So I've set a whole schedule for this boarding school of like attending classes, having food, doing sports, doing some creative activities. So there's plenty of stuff to do for your Sims here, and you can actually use it as a boarding school, which is so fun. But yeah, so let's start it off with the exterior. It's a massive build. I'm actually building it in the world that came with the Life and Death pack. I just really felt it gave off Oxford vibes. And yeah, we've got this main big hall, which in my head was previously a Gothic church, so it has a lot of Gothic features. I mean, the entire build is quite Gothic and Tudor, but because it's quite common for, you know, back in the day for buildings to have wings from different eras, I also did the same thing here. So we've got the big great hall, which is almost like a church-like building, and yeah, I can definitely see that having been a church back in the day before it was turned into a posh and fancy boarding school. And I really enjoyed detailing up this church. We're using these gorgeous windows by Felix. They're stained glass windows and they go over 2 stories, so they're really enormous and have like an amazing impact, and you'll see it also from the inside. The interior of the Great Hall is like my favorite space of the entire build. I used lots of the exterior detail from the Gothic set by Felixander, so that was, I mean, obviously perfect. I'm using the Gothic fence, I'm using Gothic sculptures. I added these bits of roof in between the windows, which I think really adds kind of depth and nice detail to it. And on the roof, I'm using like turrets, also from Felixander, and they kind of add to the church vibe as well. I really like how it turned out. Oh, and before we go too much into the video and the ins and outs of the build, just a quick reminder that you can use my creator code EvaRotki at checkout when purchasing any Sims packs. That also is valid for the new Sims 4 Adventure Awaits. So if you do decide to purchase any packs at all, you can yeah, just use my code, and that really supports me and my channel. So thank you very much to anybody who's been using it already. But yeah, let's go back into the build. So like I said, the inspiration was kind of Oxford and Hogwarts, and I definitely felt both Oxford and Hogwarts have these, or are kind of known for these gorgeous courtyards, and that was kind of the main inspiration. I really wanted this courtyard in the middle, and that's exactly what we are creating. I created a row of arches using the Gothic arches from Felix, and we're using Gothic columns as well to kind of disperse the arches, and then we're actually using quite a bit of the Castle Estate kit as well. So the wallpapers that I'm using on all the buildings is from the Castle Estate kit. I really love the Castle Estate kit for kind of older exteriors, and I really like that they did kind of 3 different swatches for each wallpaper color. So it's kind of a really clean one, a kind of somewhat aged one, and then a completely aged wallpaper version, so you can really create layers. Yeah, I basically just wanted to show also that even in-game items now have really good kind of quality that CC is kind of known for, and I'm definitely mixing it with those kits like the Castle Estate kit to create this gorgeous look, and I think it really looks amazing. I do love the Castle Estate kit, and you will see me use like bits and bobs from it throughout the build. But yeah, I'm using these CC items from the Gothic set by Felix, like I said, and I'm using these sculptures also above all the columns that are kind of gargoyle-esque sculptures, very Gothic and very typical for these kind of builds, and it's totally giving Hogwarts to me. And then I'm using some of the bushes and topiary and hydrangeas from Felixander's estate set that I really, really love, and that bring that very posh and manicured vibe to this area as well. I'm using a lot of ivy on the exterior as well, because I feel like this overgrown look is very dark academia and very Oxford and Hogwarts, and very British private school kind of heritage building. So yeah, lots of greenery in that sense, but at the same time the courtyard is really preserved and like beautifully done. And then I'm also using a lot of the castle estate doors throughout the kind of corridors and the front entrance as well. And then the main building, where we have the bedrooms and the lounge and like the bathrooms and all of that stuff, I kind of feel like it's maybe a bit more Tudor, so I used a few more Tudor windows and Tudor doors as well. Also, you'll see that all reflected on the interior. All three buildings, so the Great Hall, the main building, and then the lecture halls, all kind of feel like separate buildings, but they feel kind of consistent, and I quite like that. I really love the whole courtyard in general. I think it turned out so sweet. I have this like manicured striped lawn, which is super posh, and you can just imagine nobody being allowed on that lawn. But yeah, I really love how it turned out. It's so Harry Potter-esque, and that just made me really happy to create. And I've got some beautiful shots of the whole build at the end as well that I really want you to stick around for, because it's showing off the build from like such better angles than me building it in the moment is. So then the front entrance of the lot, I wanted to be kind of warded off from public. It is a private school, so you want it to be kind of exclusive. So we've got this kind of old gate looking entrance, and again we're using the castle estate kit arches for here, which I think work really well. And I love these little turrets at the top from Felix's Berlin set, I believe. They're so cute, and they look so Tudor and like so British, that they worked really well here for this entrance. I just love creating old buildings so much, like it's my favourite thing in The Sims. But yeah, and then like I mentioned, there is the third part or third building of this boarding school, and it's the lecture halls. So there's 2 lecture halls that I built, and again I think this would be a bit more of a recent addition compared to the Tudor. It's still Tudor-esque, but maybe it's a little bit newer. I've also reflected that kind of history on the interior as well, so I'll get into that when we get to furnishing the lecture halls. Let's get into the interior of the Great Hall. I'm so excited to share this. This is genuinely, like, if you are a big Harry Potter fan like me, you will hopefully be obsessed with this room. Like, it's full on giving Hogwarts Great Hall vibes, and that was kind of the inspiration. It was also the kind of Oxford main dining hall was also a huge inspiration for this room. So we're using this gorgeous timber paneling on the lower part of the building. It's a 3-story cathedral / Great Hall. So the lower part is covered in paneling, and that's from the estate kit by Felix, and then the top 2 floors are still in the stone, and we're using like Gothic trims and details to really bring that really, you know, filled with history room to life. One thing I really enjoyed doing was I was using the tarot pictures or paintings that come with the life and death pack, and I'm using them as like coat of arms. You know, sometimes in a lot of these kind of big halls and big great halls and castles or places around the UK, they have like the coats of arms of other families, so I thought it would be the perfect idea to also do that here. And the tarot cards from the life and death pack do come with such gorgeous artwork that I just thought it was perfect. They're very stylized, and so look kind of like coats of arms. So yeah, looking really cute. And then we littered the whole place in artwork. Like, the entire build is covered in art, and all of it is Felixander's. So it's a mixture of the Tudor art pieces and the estate art pieces that he has brought out. And there's so many different swatches that they just really work. They're all portraits, so that's really great, because I feel like all these big, you know, posh boarding schools have lots and lots of portraits of very, very important famous people who had some kind of relevance to the school. So I kind of wanted to portray this as well. We've got this long table for the teachers at the top of the hall, and this really, really cool Gothic dining chair, which is reserved for the headmaster, of course, or headmistress. And then we've got this stunning Gothic fireplace, which is one of my favourite fireplaces in CC history, again by Felixander. It's from the Gothic set. It basically is Hogwarts. I added like the long tables. We've got beautiful lamps on all the tables to give off that kind of dark academia vibe. Yeah, it's super, super cozy. Just gives off the exact kind of uni boarding school vibe that I wanted. Definitely a lot of history and a lot of, you know, old money vibes. And to make sure that your Sims will have somewhere to eat, I've included 2 of the cafeteria stations in the back of the Great Hall. That will be for the gameplay that your Sims can grab food there. So there's going to be no kitchen here. We've just got the cafeteria because I feel like that's the most realistic, and they probably have it catered in this school. And then above the Great Hall, with like this gorgeous view, is the library. And one thing that I haven't mentioned when talking about the Great Hall is this gorgeous vaulting from Felixander. So this is again from the Gothic set, and it is ceiling vaulting that really just is absolutely breathtaking, and I've used it throughout this entire Great Hall. It just gives such amazing depth and detail to the ceiling. Just looking at this room with that ceiling makes such a difference. Like, it's just perfect. It feels so much more real and authentic, and I'm absolutely obsessed. I definitely need more of these ceilings. Like, please, Felix. Honestly, I'm obsessed. They're so good. But yeah, we've got this cute little library at the top of the Great Hall, and again, I was very much inspired by Harry Potter and Oxford libraries, and these gorgeous old bookshelves filled with like ancient books. We're using the Chateau bookshelves here by Felix and the Chateau books, and they just look like they've been there for centuries. Like, honestly, it's just perfect. And then these desks that are in front of each bookshelf, so cute and just giving me dark academia vibes. And then at the end of that library is a little staircase up to a little reading nook where your Sims can, you know, hide away and read their little books and do their schoolwork and research. And yeah, it's adorable. I love how it turned out. I'm absolutely obsessed. I don't know how I could cope without any of Felixander's CC, to be honest, because most of it is. Obviously, the holy trinity of like Harry, Pierre-Sim and Felixander is the majority of the CC that I'm using. And then moving on into the lecture halls, which I'm very, very excited for. Like I said, I did kind of think that this part of the school is the most recent, so it has maybe a bit more of romantic influences rather than extreme Tudor, and it might feel a bit more kind of like 1700s. And I've included this gorgeous art piece from Felixander, which is this half moon shape above the lecture hall, and it's a 2-story lecture hall, and I really wanted to kind of make it look like it has multiple levels, you know, like typical uni lecture halls that just go up towards the back. And so I did that as well with platforms, and then put the desks on the platform, so now it looks kind of like it's elevated. I mean, it is elevated, and goes up towards the back of the room, which I think is just really, really sweet. And we've got the hobby whiteboard, so part of the schedule is to attend classes and kind of lectures, so this is where your Sims will kind of have all their classes take place. And then I included this really, really gorgeous long lounge for your teenage Sims. You know, they need somewhere to relax and unwind, and we're using the Florence sofas by Felix and some of the new estate armchairs and ottoman and footstool, which I really love. I love this pattern that is part of the estate set. It's very, very typical British kind of heritage fabric. We're using obviously the typical reds and greens, which are the only colours I really use, but I feel like they feel really rich and yeah, very British heritage colours, I would say. We're also using this gorgeous chandelier throughout the whole building, which is from Felix's estate set. And I really love the juxtaposition of the green curtains, which again are by Felix and Harry from the Organic set. They are inspired by William Morris Felix's green wallpaper, and so we're bringing a little bit of the arts and crafts movement into the building as well. And then we've got the estate bar in there as well. Yes, I know this is a boarding school and it's for teenagers, but let's be honest, we all know what teenagers do when they are away from their parents. And, you know, the adults, the teachers, might want to have some fun as well. I did include 2 teachers' rooms with their ensuites as well, but I did those off camera because, you know, the video was getting very, very long. But just, you know, so you can have teachers live there permanently as well. And there's a gorgeous piano, also a grand piano in the corner, which I can just see like the students having concerts there for their parents to show off all the skills that they're learning in this very, very pricey private school, I can imagine. Like, tuition probably costs an arm and a leg. And then moving on into the bedroom. So there are a total of 5 bedrooms for students. So I was thinking you could have 5 students and then 2 teachers and maybe 1 person of staff who does all the cleaning, cooking, etc. And doing laundry. There's also laundry rooms, but you'll see those in a bit. But yeah, there is kind of 1 bedroom per student. They're not shared bedrooms, and they all have their own suites, of course. You know, for the tuition that these people pay, their kids will want their own bedrooms and bathrooms. We're using the same paneling that we've used throughout from the estate set by Felix, and to make it feel even grander, I'm including these pillars from Felix as well, from the London set in the same kind of timber, and adding those sporadically to really bring in the grandeur into this room. For the bed, we're using a really gorgeous canopy bed. The canopy itself is from the Chateau set by Felix, and then the bed and the bedding are from the estate set. We're including a little seating area in each bedroom as well. So there's a little fireplace. This one is from the Florence set by Felix. We're using, this is a fun detail that I thought I would bring in. The mirror that I'm using in all the bedrooms is actually the mirror of Erised from Harry Potter, because Felix did model some of the kind of Harry Potter inspired pieces for his Gothic set. So I thought that would be kind of a little hint to the Harry Potter inspiration for this build. Moving on into the bathroom, we're using this gorgeous green wallpaper from Felix's estate set. I'm absolutely obsessed with this wallpaper. And I think the colour, the green, rich, dark green colour, is so typically British. And then we're using the estate bathroom items here, and they're very kind of typical old British style. So this works perfectly here in this old boarding school. And we're using this gorgeous sink. The toilet is really cool and like old fashioned with a string pull and all that stuff, which you'll see in a bit. And I love the little towel details that are part of this estate set, because you can kind of clip the towel to the railing of the vanity. So that's really, really fun, and I did enjoy that. And then I'm dividing the bathroom using some dividers from Pierre Sim, and in the other side of the bathroom we've got an open shower and a bathtub, and we've got the wall shelving from the Brutalist set by Harry. I love that it's the same green texture and colour of the wall, so it really blends in with the wall. Then, like I said, there's a little laundry room. I think there's 2 laundry rooms on each floor. Again, we're using the estate set by Felix and that gorgeous green colour. And then coincidentally, Pierre Sim also recently brought out a new set that has to do with laundry, so it's kind of a mixture of those 2. And I really love that built-in look for the dryer and washer by Felix, and that cabinet, and it's just that the whole estate set is like my favorite thing on the planet. It definitely is up there with my favorite sets by Felixander, and he keeps going. Like, there's more and more coming, so probably will end up being the best set he's ever created. The way I kind of did the repetitive bedrooms and bathrooms and laundry rooms is I copied and pasted the rooms. I then edited them off camera so that they would work with the different layouts, etc. Because I was not gonna furnish all that on top of the entire boarding school that I'd already done. Like, it was a lot of work, this build. But yeah, and that way kind of the bedrooms have that coherent style as well. I did swap out like the art swatches, etc. in each room. But yeah, no, that's the most efficient way of doing it in my opinion. We're back in the kind of staircase, and there's also a little art and crafts room, which I thought was really good for your Sims to kind of hone some of their creative skills. So we've got easels and a woodworking bench and so on. So for that, actually, we're using the artist kit. I don't know the name of the kit, I apologize, but yeah, we're using that kit for in here. Like all the items in here are from that, because I do adore that kit as well. But then the main thing that I am really proud of in this building is also the back corridor, the really big windows that are at the back. And I really wanted to maximize the large windows and the scale of those windows. So what I did was I made sure that the corridor was again like a 2-story corridor. So they are connected in a way, like it's not fully open, but it is open and the windows can really shine in that sense. And you can see the full window whether you're on the top floor or on the floor underneath, and I think it looks really, really, really cool. And we've got the timber paneling with like all the artwork again. We've got all the pedestals with the busts. It really brings in that old money feeling, and when the sun shines in through those windows, it's absolutely stunning. Like the lighting in this building is unreal. And then what I also wanted to add to this build was a swimming pool and gym, not only because your Sims will need somewhere to exercise and to work out, but also because Adventure Awaits does come with some new exercise equipment and also the diving boards. So I thought let's incorporate that here as well. So the gym and the pool area are in the back of the cathedral kind of main hall. There's a really long pool for your Sims to do laps in, and then I included the diving boards. Like I said, those are new, and that is a new skill with Adventure Awaits. And then part of the estate set by Felix is also some gym equipment, so I thought, you know, can combine that with Adventure Awaits equipment. And there's a new way of working out with Adventure Awaits. So we've got the weight rack, which is so cool, and I'm very excited for it. So that was obviously included. So we've got the functional weight rack, but we also included Felixander's decorative weight rack as well, because that is adorable. And then we've got the spin bikes in here as well. And then finally at the end, at the back of the lot, I really wanted to have a tennis court, and this is a mod that I downloaded, and I'll link it in the description like I do with all my custom content. But this is, yeah, a really, really cute and functional tennis court, which is just perfect for a posh boarding school. So I included this sunken tennis court, which is so adorable, and I really like how it turned out. Again, we've got the striped lawn, we've got the hydrangeas, we've got the lush topiary bushes, and it's just all looking absolutely adorable. I really like how it turned out. And yeah, we've also got a little car park, which you'll see right at the end. But that is everything that I have time for today. I really hope you enjoyed watching this boarding school come together. I'm really, really, really chuffed with how it turned out. So I really hope you guys will like it. Do leave me some lovely comments down below, and I can't wait to see you very, very soon. Bye!